This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 Flagstaff E-Pro, model number 19BH. So this is not a floor plan or a sales video, it's a how-to video. I'm just going to show you some of the features. I'll walk through it and point them out as we go. Okay, so one of the standout features of this trailer, or two of them, are it has a solar panel with a solar controller, and it also has a power inverter, which is, for those who don't know, inverting is taking 12 volt DC and inverting it to 120 AC. Okay, most trailers already have a converter which goes the other way from AC to DC, but this one goes both, so we'll talk about that as we get to it. All right, you have a power awning with LED strip, of course. Your stabilizers are scissor type stabilizers with 3/4 inch hex on it. You can use the crank that comes with it, or you can use the 3/4 inch 6.3/4 inch socket on your drill. Okay, so right here, excuse me, you have a rail for your griddle to hang on, also a utility table. Let me see where he's got it here, just so we can look at it. So this is your griddle right here. Okay, and this is your utility table right here. So those will both hang on there. You also get a rubber LP line, so you can plug it into your grill, and then plug it in down here, and that's where you get your LP. So it just basically connects it to the LP system. Okay. This vent right here is the range hood vent. Now you have to remember that if you're venting to the outside using the range hood fan, you always have to open these up so this baffle flaps freely. You always want to flap them freely when you're venting. If not, you can just shut it when you're traveling or in storage, whatever. But if you're going to vent, open it up. You have outside speaker. This is the vent for your furnace, of course. This right here is just a hookup. If you were to purchase a solar panel to charge the battery, it would plug in right here. This is Go Power. I think all this solar in this is Go Power. So anyway, that's just an option. Okay. So this is your dump hose here. This is a reducer for your shore cord. You can it's a 30 amp cord. This will reduce it down to a 20, so you can plug it in at home if you need to. Now there's a bike rack here that holds two bicycles. One, you have to adjust the holders here, but one bike goes on one side, the other goes on the other. Now this neck is straight up, which is the most common. You'll almost use that, but they give you this one too, just in case, so you can move it. I don't know if you can see that very well. You can move it either way if you need to, but usually the straight one will be in the position that you need. Okay, now you have a power tongue jack right here, up and down, and obviously there's a hitch light. Now if this ever fails, you can actually pull this pin here, take this out, pull this off, and then pull the rubber plug on top of the tongue jack out, and then you can use the crank, the 3/4 inch 6-point crank, and you can actually crank it manually. You also could use a drill with a socket and some extensions, but the main thing is you can always get hitched and unhitched no matter what. All right. Now you can't see it very well here, but I'm gonna try and pull this up here so I can show you where the kill switch is. Here, let's hold it there. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, so right there is your kill switch. So you can shut your batteries off right there. This has two batteries. They're wired together, so it stays 12 volt. It just doubles your storage capacity. Whenever you have a power inverter, it's good to have two batteries, so you got plenty of power to invert, and also plenty of room for your solar panel to store energy. Okay, you have two LP tanks, two 30-pound LP tanks with an automatic changeover regulator. Okay, this is just your docking light right here. This is the other end of your pass-through. This is your crank here, your 3/4 inch crank. This is the hose for the the griddle to hook it to the LP system, and that's your wheel right there. If you want to change out your pad with a wheel so you can move it around your house or driveway or whatever, you can do that. It's good to know that that white gate valve right there, that's to dump your fresh water tank if you need to. Okay, so this is your water heater. It's a 6-gallon water heater. The tank is just on the other side of this, connected to it. So the switches to operate it are inside. You have a electric heating element that's behind this cover right here, and then you also have a gas burner, which is obviously right here. If you did look at this, if you're ever interested, it'll tell you right here where these red writing is about how fast it recovers and that sort of thing using gas and that sort of thing. Generally, you're going to run it on electricity until you really need, like let's say a couple people are going to be using the shower consecutively. Well, you'd want to kick on the burner then because it's going to recover much faster. All right. So anyways, this is the switches to operate those are inside. I'll show you that. This is your drain here. It takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket, right? And there's an anode rod attached to it, so it's long. But that's where you would drain it right there. Never run the electric heating element or the gas burner without water in the water heater tank. You always have to make sure you got water in it before you do that. So if you drained it out, let's say you went camping in the spring and then drained out the water from your water heater tank because you weren't going to camp again to the fall, you just got to remember to always fill it up before you turn it on. That's important. Okay, so this is water. Your city water is the most common way to get water to the trailer, right? You just hook it up and you're all set. Now if you're camping someplace that doesn't have city water or doesn't have plumbing on the campsites, let's say, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here and then use the onboard pump to pump it. I'll show you where the switch is for that when we get inside. Now this you'll have to educate yourself about a little bit. This is for winterizing. You'll actually screw the hose on here and it'll go into a gallon of antifreeze. So that's where you draw the antifreeze in. This is just a shower / sprayer for kids and dogs and feet and bicycles, whatever you have. This is where your 30 amp power cord plugs into. Okay. These are your dump valves right here. So the gray valve is sink and shower water. The black valve is toilet water and waste. So usually you're going to dump the black first, then the gray, of course, because the gray is cleaner water than the black. If you leave the black tank valve open like it is now, you can take the hose at the dump station and screw it onto this black tank flush right here and turn it on. It'll spray the inside of the tank, clean off the sensors so you get a really good reading, really accurate reading, that sort of thing. But like it says on the sticker, always make sure that you have the valve open before you turn on the water. That's important. Okay, this is just it's a bunk, and then there's some storage here too. You see, you can flip it up and lock it into that latch right there, and you can put small bicycles. You can put a lot of stuff there. Okay. With this, be careful. Most people will store it underneath the mattress when they're traveling, so it doesn't bounce around and do any damage. Okay, so right up here we see this is pre-wired for a backup camera. So if you want to get a backup camera, we sell them here. You can get them elsewhere. Just make sure you get the Furion camera that fits inside that housing. Okay. Now this is your ladder. Obviously, it's a good thing to have a ladder because the manufacturer will state that you should inspect the roof every 90 days. You can walk up there. Just be very careful. Look at all the sealant. Make sure there's no crack in your separation. Look at all the roofing attachments and material. Make sure they weren't damaged by low branches or road debris flying up there. You're just protecting your investment, so it's a good thing to inspect it regularly. Also, you have a key for this, but also has electronic keypad too. And I suppose this is where there's the default code number right there. You can set your own code if you choose to. Okay, so here we're inside. Let me get some light here. Okay. So we're just running off battery right now. We don't have it plugged in. We're just getting ready to move it to the other side of the building. So let's see, where will I start? I'll start right here. This is your control panel here. To turn your water pump on, right there, to pump water out of the fresh water tank. Is also used to winterize the trailer. To light your water heater on gas, on electric, and this has tank heaters. So Each holding tank, black, gray, and fresh water, has a heating pad on it, and this heating pad it'll basically extend your camping season. You can go out longer in the winter and go out earlier in the spring because it keeps your waste and water from freezing. Okay, this is for your power awning right here. You can see. Never leave the awning out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in. These are just lights here, and then you have your battery, which is fully charged. Fresh water, which has a third in it. We're still prepping. Black is empty, gray is empty. Graduates up in 1/3 increments, as you can see. Then we'll come over here real quick. Obviously, you have a TV set. The thing to know is, see, there's a green LED lit right there. I could shut it off by going like that, but you don't want to do that. You always want it on. It's the signal booster for the digital antenna, so you always want that on if you're using the antenna. This is your Wi-Fi Ranger. Now let me climb up here. The Wi-Fi Ranger is a signal booster for your for public Wi-Fi. So you see it's on and off here. If you turn it on, it takes a minute or so before you'll see it on in your, you know, with your phone, for example, if you're looking for Wi-Fi. So this is the deal. Your Wi-Fi Ranger is called Tenton 7656, right? So when you look at you and your family's devices, you'll pick it out right there. That's what it is, and then you'll make up a password so you log on to it automatically. Then in a browser, you'll go to the bottom line, is called Control Panel, and there's an address here. You go to that address, and you'll use the temporary password, which is Change Me Now 7656, and obviously you're going to set your own password for that. But after you type in the password, you'll be able to see everything the Wi-Fi Ranger sees. So it's up on the roof, right? So it'll basically boost the signal. You just get a better signal, period. It's very, very good product. So when you get to the campground, you just have to connect the Wi-Fi Ranger to the campground Wi-Fi, let's say, and then all your other devices will connect automatically to the Wi-Fi Ranger. Okay. When it comes to your sound, there's also a cellular function. If you're interested, you can research it a bit. It would be a monthly fee. You'd have to go through your carrier and things like that. So your cellular carrier. Most people don't use that. They just use the free Wi-Fi. So here we have AM/FM radio. You have Bluetooth. You have a USB you can stream from. This is a HDMI, and it's in. You go into the trailer. Let's say you had a portable Blu-ray player or something. You go into the system there. 2 speaker zones, 1 and 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does everything you need and then some. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go this way. This is your range that I told you about. Okay. Always, there's a fan obviously and a light. Always open the baffle, like I said, if you're going to use the fan. I don't know if he's got the gas on here, so we'll just say, if not, I'll just talk you through it. So this is the sparker. You turn it clockwise to spark it. 1, 2, 3 burners and 3 knobs, and then this one's for the oven. So I don't know if, like I said, I don't know what he's got here. Oops, sorry. I don't know what he's got here. Yeah, he's got it turned on. So there you see it lit that easy. Very simple. Now the oven is a little bit different. Okay, if you look all the way down here at the bottom, there's a pilot light, right? So let me show you here. So you can actually see it by sparking it usually. Now, with the oven knob, you're going to go to the picture of the flame, which is pilot light. You depress it, right? You keep it depressed through the whole lighting procedure. You spark this by turning it clockwise to light it. Once it lights, you'll hold it for another 10 seconds or so, then go to operating temperature, right? Now, when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use it. Okay, so always keep that shut when you're traveling, of course. Okay, we'll talk about energy a bit here now. So, when I talked about inversion, which is converting or inverting 12-volt DC to 120 AC, it's not an even exchange. It's kind of lossy, so to speak. So in this trailer, all the plugs, or most of the plugs, I didn't prep and check it all, but let's say all the plugs, because I'm sure that's the way it is, but they're going to be connected to the inverter, right? So when you plug something into here, this was also GFCI, but when you plug it into here, you can turn on the inverter and you could run an electric appliance, coffee pot, or any 120 AC appliance that's small. Now you can't run the air conditioner, for example, off of the inverter. It's just not enough power there to do it, right? When you want to run the inverter, it's right here. You just turn it on. You see how it turned green? You could hear it hum if you were here in person. So now, now the receptacles have inverted power coming out of them, even though we're not plugged in. We're just running off the battery. To shut it off, you hold it for a minute, and then take your finger off and it'll shut off. Okay? So that's inversion. Now, over here is the converter. This does just the opposite. This converts 120 AC to 12 volt DC. So you have on this side, you have regular circuit breakers like you see at home, AC circuit breakers, and they're all labeled, right? Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You got 12 volt fuses, and they're all labeled. Now, keep in mind that this is also a battery tender. So when you're plugged into shore power, it's always going to be checking how much energy your batteries need, how charged they are, and it'll send energy accordingly. If they're topped off, it will just send a couple amps to maintain it, but if they're low, it'll send 10 amps or whatever it needs to charge them, as long as you're plugged in. Of course, when you're pulling it down, this trailer down the road, the alternator on your tow vehicle will be charging the batteries, right? So it converts AC to DC power, plus it charges your battery. Now, up here, we have the solar controller. Okay, I know you can't see it very well, but I'll do the best I can. So, right now, let me get over to where we're at here. Okay, right now we have 12.7 volts coming off the batteries. It's been unplugged for a while. It'll normally be closer to 13.4, which is pretty typical, but it's a little low. You can see the picture of the sun up here and then the picture of the solar panel. So if you push it, you can see with the arrow, the sun is pointing towards the solar panel. So right now, you're gaining 5.1 amps. So 5.1 amps are being, your solar panel is sending 5.1 amps, now it's 5.3 amps of electricity to your storage battery. So you're gaining that. If you push it again, you're at 83%. Like I said, it's been unplugged for a while, so it's been running off the battery. And your amp hours here, okay, and then back to 12.7. So it tells you everything you need to know. The A you don't have to worry about because the batteries are wired together as one. So B is where you're at. You have see how it says flooded here. They're flooded batteries, so it's just telling us that we had to set that. You'd have to set it if you changed it. If you were to put gel batteries, you can change it to gel. If you put lithium, you can change it to lithium, so it makes the right calculations, okay? That's just a USB. You can charge a phone off of it, whatever you need to do. This has a app for it, so you can learn as much as you want and that sort of thing. Also, this here has an app. You can see right here. Don't hesitate if you don't understand something or you want to learn more about it. Don't hesitate to go to the manufacturer's website to look at their product videos. GoPower has a great website, for example. It'll teach you everything you want to know, and you may already know it. I'm just assuming you don't because I have to. Okay, your refrigerator is 12 volt DC, so it runs off 12 volt DC. Always keep that latched, of course, so the door doesn't get damaged. Now, this device down here is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. So it's green. It should always be glowing green. If not, get it serviced. So if it detects carbon monoxide buildup or LP gas, it'll go off. Obviously, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, figure out what's going on. If it beeps the same pitch but the same tone and very, very slowly, it's telling you your battery is low. Here, let me just show you. LP check is good. Carbon monoxide coming up, and then the low battery alert. back to green. It should always be green, like I said. If not, get it serviced. Okay. Well, this is a 4-speed fan. It's got a cover over it so you can open it up in the rain. It's a great thing. On 4, it'll pull your hair straight up almost, and on 1 you can barely hear it. So obviously use it with the shower, for example, to pull the humidity out, because these trailers are built super tight these days. Also, if it's the time of year where you're getting condensation from your breath and you got people over and you're starting to see a little, just turn this on 1 or 2 and it'll pull all the condensation out. You'll never have an issue with it. Okay. All right. So another energy feature here is here. Let me get this out of the way. Is this device here, which is the shower miser. It's right here, and you can see there's a selector valve right there. So what this does is it's basically a water recirculator. Normally when you're heating up your water for the shower, while it's heating up, all that good fresh water is going to go down your drain. It's going to take up space in your gray tank. Also, when you're in drought areas, you can't just be wasting water like that. So this just sends it around in a loop, right? As it heats up, this will turn more of a beige color. Once it turns to this beige color, you know that the water's heated up. Then you just flip the valve and it'll start operating just like a regular shower. So that's the thing. It just circulates water in a loop between the water heater and here, and until it gets good and hot, so you don't waste water. If you want to learn more about it, like I said, go to the manufacturer's website. There's the tag for it there. So that's the shower miser. Of course, sink, toilet. The toilet is an RV toilet, so it's also telling you you have this special siphon vent on it too, which is a really good product to make sure you always get a good vent out through the vent stack. Your flush valve right here. So you can't use it dry. It's sitting directly over the black tank, right? This is the black tank down there. So the what you're going to do is when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water, and then you're going to put 1 dose of chemical in here, and then you're going to step on the pedal and let about a gallon of water along with the chemical go into the black tank. Then you can start using it. You can't use it dry, because if you do, the smell will be terrible, plus it can get clogged up. So you're always going to start off with chemical and water in it. Okay? All right. I think that covers that. So I showed you this is your literature here. These are your remotes here. Your griddle and your table. Your keys are hanging here. You can drop this table down onto these cleats here, right? And you can turn that into a bed if you need to. You also have 2 bunks here, which gives you a lot of room in a small trailer for sure. It's a great setup. Your thermostat is just an analog thermostat that turns on there. When you shut off, listen to this here. You want it to click like that to the left. Once I did that, you might still hear it running. But as soon as you do that, the flame shut off, and now it's just going to run its cycle. So it could run for another 2 minutes, but it's not heating. It's just running through its cycle. Then your controls here. You have 2 fan controls, which is circulate air without the compressor. You got 2 cool, which are 2 low and high air conditioning, and there's your thermostat there. It's very typical. Okay, so let me look a little farther, see if I forgot anything. You have storage under here. Now to get to the back of the water heater, for example, because there are bypass valves back there. You can see there's the water filter canister to put a filter in. The water heater and the water pump are all right there. To get this out, there are two black tabs here. One, let me see here. One right here that you can barely see, but you push this one down and you push the other one up and pull it right off. It slides right off. Okay. Now I mentioned the water filter canister. You can use this water filter if you choose to, right? And there's the wrench for it. So if you want to put the water filter in the canister, you can. If you do use it, you've got to change it every year. People don't drink the water, so a lot of people don't bother with it. But it's a carbon block filter. It works pretty good. And then you have other toilet paper holders, things like that, in case you want to mount them. Okay. Let's look a little farther, see if I forgot anything here. This is your is for your tires. Now on not the spare tire, but on both the left and the right, or door side and off door side tire, there's a little transmitter that sends a signal, and it's directly across from the valve stem on the other side of the wheel, stuck to the wheel on the inside. So you can set this up so it'll tell you your temperature, it'll tell you your tire pressure. It has monitors alarms and that sort of thing. You also can get the type of caps that screw on it for your tow vehicle. You program them in there, and it won't tell you your temperature, but it'll tell you the air pressure in your tow vehicle tires too, if you were to get the extra caps for it. So that's that. Now I think I got everything. Let me look around. We're going to be able to talk to you more when you pick it up, that sort of thing too. Make sure this locks into place, so make sure you lock it into place so it doesn't fling around when you're driving. Okay, so okay, I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit, and like I said, we'll be going over it with you when you pick up. If you may know all this stuff already, I just have to assume you don't, because a lot of people don't. Remember what I said about inspecting the roof. That's, as a trailer owner, that's the most important maintenance you can do. That and winterizing and that sort of thing. But you always protect your investment by going up there, looking around, make sure that everything is in good shape. If it's not, get it taken care of immediately. Okay. And then third, this trailer has been de-winterized, so the water heater is in camping mode. All the antifreeze has been purged out of the system, and it's ready to go. So it's ready to be camped in. So you won't have to worry about that till next in the late fall when you winterize it. Okay. Like I said, go to if you need more information on any of the components of this, go to the manufacturer's websites. Plus, you got literature in here, so you can learn everything you want to learn. So, okay. Thank you very much.